students, hope all are doing good. And yes, we are meeting for the chapter Growing Plants Part 2. Before I start with Part 2 topics, let me make sure that the subtopics what we covered in Part 1 are clear to you. So the Part 1 we have studied how to grow plants, what are the different methods or ways we follow. In that we have seen reproduction through seeds. And we also have seen parts of the flower, what do you mean by pollination, and what are the two types of pollinations, and what are the pollinators or pollinating agents. We also have seen the definition of fertilization and the end result of this fertilization process. And keeping these things in mind, today's class we will quickly study or quickly discuss once the subtopics what we are covering. So we study the seed germination, and before that we study about seed germination. We also should know the parts of the seed, yes, or the structure of seed. So in short, we will be studying structure of seed and seed germination. So we'll quickly start with small video. Listen here students, just I wanted to make sure that you remember the process of pollination because it's very important. So I will just go through it once and make sure that you watch this video of pollination, and then I will be sharing you all with the video of seed dispersion.
Is a process by which pollen is transferred from the anther, that is the male part, to the stigma, which is the female part of the plant, thereby enabling the fertilization and reproduction in turn. Now let's see how pollination occurs, or how pollens reach stigma. There are various ways. How do pollens reach the stigma? Flowers have bright petals and strong fragrance that attract insects and other animals. Also, flowers have thin, nutritious honey-like liquids called nectar inside of them that acts as food for many insects. Butterflies, bees, and many other insects feed on the nectar. So they visit the flower to suck nectar. While sucking nectar from the flowers, they are in no way harmed by the insects. Insects feed on the nectar present in the flowers, and while doing so, the pollens from the anther gets attached to the body of the insects. And when these insects visit some other flower for nectar, pollens get to the sticky top of the pistils, and by the way of long tubes called style. Pollens reach the ovary, where ovules are present, and fertilization occurs, leading to the formation of seeds. So this process of pollens reaching the sticky tops of pistils is called pollination. And pollens may reach to the stigma of the same flower or stigma of different flowers. When pollens reach the stigma of the same flower, it is called self-pollination. And when pollens reach the stigma of different flowers of the same kind, it's called cross-pollination. So kids, we now know what is fertilization and what is pollination. Now we will learn about different agents of pollination. Insects like bees, butterflies, beetles, etc. are the main agents of pollination. Birds and mammals too pollinate some flowers. Wind also acts as an agent of pollination. Water too acts as an agent of Pollination.
Yes.
When pollens from the anther of stamen joins with the ovules present in the ovary, we call it fertilization. Let's revise. When pollens from the anther of stamen joins with the ovules present in the ovary, it is called fertilization. And fertilization forms the seeds inside the ovary. And after fertilization, this ovary changes into a fruit.
Yes.
That's why seeds are there inside the fruit.
Yes, so I just made sure that you just record once the process of pollination and its types and about pollinators. I hope the video was informative to you, and yes, as I said, we will be discussing about structure of seed and we will be studying about growing plants. That is, we'll study structure of seed now first. So structure of seed, as you all can see here, see, it is covered with a seed coat and seed leaves and embryo. So these are the three things which come under a seed. Structure of a seed has three following layers. The first layer is called as seed coat. The second layer is called as seed leaves or cotyledons, and the third part is embryo or baby plant. We'll see first about seed coat. Thin skin-like covering is called as a seed coat. It protects the seed along with the embryo inside. So it don't only protect the seed, also it protects the embryo which is inside the seed. It has a tiny pore which allows water and air to enter. So it has small pores. Seed coat can be thin or it can be soft, as in beans. So in beans we have seed coat thin and soft, whereas it can be thick and hard also. Where can we find a thick and hard seed coat? That is in coconut we can see. So a seed coat is a thin skin-like structure which protects seed and embryo inside it. It has pores in it so that air and water can enter, and a seed coat can be thin and soft, or it can be hard and thick also. So as if you see in coconut, we have hard and what is that term? Thick coating, whereas in case of beans or any kind of soft skin like beans, pears, we can see it's very soft and thin. So this is about the first category, first layer. And the second layer what we have is a seed leaf. So seed leaf is also called as cotyledons, and two seed leaves are known as cotyledons. We'll see that now. It stores food for the embryo. Yes. So as it is in a seed, it requires food for what? Embryo. Embryo is inside the seed. The food is used by the baby plant till it grows the first green leaves. So as you all can see, it's a rainy season and any particular seed which is dried is thrown outside, and when it gets in contact, the seed pod breaks, and then through the seed pod a small budding comes out, which is called as embryo, and embryo requires food, and the food is given by the leaves, seed leaves. So this food, seed leaves will store the food and is helpful for the embryo to get the food and resist for the other conditions. And as the embryo grows into an individual plant, it starts developing its own green leaves. So till then it requires food, and that is given by or that is supplied by the seed leaves. So cotyledons, in a sense, if the two seeds are there, two leaves are there, we call it as a cotyledons. And then embryo. So embryo or baby plant. So what is this embryo? Embryo refers to the baby plant. Embryo where is located? So embryo is located between two seed leaves. The seeds which have only one seed leaf are called as monocote seeds. Mono in the sense one. So example for monocot seeds like maize, rice and wheat. So these have only one leaf, so they are called as monocot leaves. The second one, we have seeds which have two seed leaves. So they are called as dicot seeds. So di in a sense two, di, dicots. So example for dicot seeds are gram, bean and pears. So I hope the embryo concept is clear to you. So a structure of seed will have three layers, namely seed coat, seed leaves or cotyledons and embryo or baby plant. Again, if a seed is having one leaf, then it is called as a monocot. If it is having two leaves, then it is called as a dicot seed. So examples, respective examples are given. It's there on the slide. Yes. So here with the picture, I am showing it to you. So embryo, it grows into a plant. So cotyledon, it stores food for the embryo, or cotyledon is also known as seed leaves. Seed coat, this is the one more layer. So three layers are given here. A seed has a thin skin-like covering called seed coat. The structure of seed, a picture is given. You can find inside a seed there is an embryo and it is covered by seed leaves or cotyledons. So seed coat is the outer covering and cotyledons. So I hope this picture is clear to you. So structure of a seed. Seeds are generally of two types, monocot and dicot. So two types of seeds are there, namely monocot, only one cotyledon or only one seed leaf, and dicot in a sense two cotyledons or two seed leaves. So the structure of seed, I have given here example of monocot and a dicot seed, where seed coat, endosperm and embryonic leaves, this is present in both the seeds, and then embryonic root, you have the roots. You might have seen in the rainy season the jackfruit seeds, when you throw it outside, it has the roots, right? So that is the thing. In my next video, I will try to show that structure of seed with the jackfruit seed example. So single cotyledon monocot, whereas the root is there or present in both the types of seeds, whether it is monocot or dicot. Seed embryonic root is present in both the types of seeds. So this is all about the picture. And yes, structure of seed, monocot seeds, examples are given. So examples like maize, wheat and rice. If you try to put it and check for the germination, once the germination takes place, you get to see two seed leaves. Whereas the structure of seed in case of a dicot, like any grams, green grams or any kind of grams or beans or any kind of pears, you can find dicots. When you try to do it, you get two seed leaves, whereas monocots will have only one seed in it. One seed leaves in it. One seed leaf. Okay, then we have to study about seed germination. You might have noticed I said when I was explaining about the monocot seeds. So if you try to put it in water or even dicots also, you can check once the germination takes place, you get to see whether it has only one seed leaf or two seed leaves. So what is this germination might be striking your head. So what is this germination? Have you noticed when your mother prepare green gram curry? Yes. One, she might be washing once the seed, green grams, and then she will be putting it in water, and overnight after soaking for some 8 hours gap, she will remove the water or drain the water, and then she will tie it with a tight cloth, cotton cloth, or might be she will put it in a container and close the lid. And after some 3 to 4 hours or might be even 8 hours or one night, if you check, it will have some small shoots, white color things, buds. You can see this. What is this? And if the same thing is planted or you leave it like that, it grows with the seeds, seed leaves will be shown and roots also if you put it in soil. Have you noticed? So if you did not notice, please ask your mother to do this, and with your mother's help, you can try doing this experiment. So we'll see what is seed germination in detail. Seed germination is nothing but the process of a seed growing into an individual plant is called as seed germination. And what are the conditions required for that? A particular temperature and other conditions are required for this. We'll see those things with the help of a video.
What is germination? When a seed is sown into moist soil, it begins to grow. This process is called germination. It occurs in the following steps. The seed coat splits. A tiny root grows downward and a shoot grows upward. This produces a seedling of a plant, which ultimately grows into a new plant. After some time, the plant bears flowers. The flowers produce fruits, and the fruits have seeds in them.
Yes. And how again a flower will just form seeds? Because of the pollinating agents. And I have explained it already.
All seeds can germinate when sown in moist soil under suitable conditions to produce new plants. By natural or man-made processes, these seeds are sown into the soil again, and that is how new plants are born.
Yes, I hope the video was clear and you got the basic idea what do you mean by seed germination, how it takes place. So we'll see that seed germination, the germination of seeds, the process by which a seed produces a baby plant or a seedling in the presence of what are the required conditions, in the presence of air, water and warmth, right temperature. Okay. Not all seeds will grow as baby plants. If you try to put some 10 seeds in soil, moist soil, it's not necessary that all 10 seeds will grow into an individual plant. There are some conditions. It might be just did not get the proper space, it did not get water, proper sunlight, it might be fighting to get the proper space, sunlight and other things. So those are the conditions, or it might be eaten up by the insects, or might be spoiled by, it was like if animals move on it, yes, stamp on it, so it might be lost. So these are the some conditions. So if you put more water, yes, irrigation is not done properly. So there are some conditions which says that, or which just which tells that all seeds may not give you all new plants. Seed cannot germinate if it does not get right amount of air, moisture and warmth. Not too much, not too less. It also requires proper space to germinate. Yes, as I said just now, it requires proper space. Otherwise, the seeds will fight among themselves to get proper sunlight, water and space. The seeds are dispersed in different ways to ensure that there is adequate space between them and they are not starved of nutrients. What happens, you just put all seeds in a one place. So they might fight for the proper space. Why they fight? Because they have to get the nutrients from the soil. So only we use in agricultural methods, seeds are dispersed. They are spread. Yes, they are spread in such a way that there is enough gap in between and they get right amount of required conditions. Not only required conditions, even the nutrients from the soil. So when they grow, they require more space. It's like if I put 100 students in one small room. Can you all breathe? Can you all move? No, right? We'll be fighting each other to get your space. The same way, seeds need to be dispersed in such a way that all the conditions are satisfied so that they get proper sunlight, nutrients and air and water. So this is about seed germination. As the video showed, the process is shown here. As the seed is having seed pod, the first step when it is put it in the soil, the seed pod just disappears. It just comes out, and from there you can see the embryo grows, and embryo it will till it gets the new fresh leaves, green leaves. It will use embryo or the seed leaves, and then embryos will use seed leaves of cotyledons, and once it starts with individual leaves, then it will grow, and you can see the height also, the stem size and leaf size. So it's increasing, and this is the picture. And because of this, you can decide whether it is a monopod or a dipod. So the germination of wheat seed, example a monopod. So here you can see only one leaf, seed leaf, one seed leaf. So it's the example of a monopod, which is the example like wheat. Okay, and this picture is a dipod. You can see a beans there. So green gram, and here up the first picture is the kidney beans. So it's grown there with the two leaves. So it's the example for a dipod leaf. Yes. So I hope this video was clear to you and you understood the concept very well. So this is all about the structure of seed and germination of seed. The process of what? The process of seed developing into a new plant with required conditions is known as seed germination, and we have studied what are the conditions required: proper sunlight, air, water and nutrients from the soil. And we have seen in structure of seed, 3 layers are there. A seed is covered by 3 layers: seed pod, then seed leaves or cotyledons, and embryo or baby plant. And we also have seen there are 2 types of seeds: monopod seeds and dipod seeds. Monopod seed will have 1 single seed leaf, whereas dipod seeds will have 2 seed leaves. So this is all about part 2 of chapter growing plants. See you in part 3 section. Thank you students. Till then, take care, stay home, stay safe.